Hi everyone, this is Austin with Coastal Volkswagen Parts, and today I'm going to be showing you how to change the spark plugs on your 2014 to 2019 Jetta, Golf, or anything with a 2-liter engine for that sake. With the winter months coming up, the air is already getting colder, your engine is demanding more fuel to create a good combustion. One of the worst things you can do is not give it a decent spark to generate that combustion. So today I want to show you how to change the spark plugs. So that way when you are starting your car up in the winter months, you're getting better fuel mileage, you're saving a little bit of money, and it ends up better on both parties in the end. First thing we want to do is make sure that the vehicle is safe and ready to be serviced. So I've already gone ahead and set the parking brake. Next thing you want to do to prevent yourself from any electric shocks or shorts is go ahead and access your battery, and you'll want to get to the negative terminal here, which will be displayed which side that is on your battery. And you'll take a 10mm wrench, get that on the end here, and loosen that nut. Once that's slightly loosened, you can go ahead and start working it off. This one seems to be a little bit more stuck. There we go. All right, so with that off, you're going to want to put it in a spot where it's not going to short or contact any other metal components, as that could damage the electrical system. Then we'll go ahead and cover this back up so nothing gets in there. The tools you're going to need to get this done is going to be a simple 10mm ratchet. I also have here a 3/8 drive ratchet with a decent extension, as well as a 5/8 socket on the end that is specifically designed to go onto spark plugs. It has a rubber insert so that way you don't damage any of the contacts. Next, once we're all done getting the spark plug out and we get the new one in, I have a torque wrench here that is set to torque down the spark plug to the exact specifications depending on the kind of vehicle that you're working on. So first thing we want to do for this service is to take the engine cover off. There's going to be 4 little rubber mounts here on every corner. You pop those off. You can see the inserts here, and those just go onto these posts on the engine. When you get here, you're going to have a 10mm nut that you're going to want to crack loose. I've already gone ahead and cracked this one here. Alright, so once this one comes off, I'm going to put it on the cowl so it doesn't go anywhere. You're going to remove the negative cable off and tuck that behind your wiring harness. And then you're going to have another 10mm underneath that's going to be holding in that coil. You're going to want to loosen this one, and it's going to be attached to that stud. It's all going to come out in one piece. And these harnesses are pretty rigid, so you're going to want to disconnect each one of the coils. And as they come off, you should get enough wiggle room, like I've done here, to push them back. You might need to push your intake pipe back, but with just a little help, they do just pop right off. And now that we have the coil here accessible, you're going to want to give it a slight tug. They do stretch, and they will kind of stretch the rubber out, which is normal. You just don't want to tear the boot on it. So you want to make sure that the engine's warm before you do anything, or else you could risk tearing the boot. With a little work, that pops right off. You can see here how it's rubber, and it does have some stretch to it, which is completely normal. And then you'll take your ratchet with the extension and the spark plug socket and get that down in until you feel it grab on the top of the plug. Give it a little tug, and that should just come right out. There's a lot of threads on these to keep them in place, so it might take a minute before everything starts coming along. You can even take the wrench off once it's loose enough and just turn it by hand. Once you feel that it starts spinning freely, you can gently take the plug out. Sometimes the plug will come with it. If not, you might need to just press it down a little bit. Or in this case, you might have to grab a magnet and reach down in there and pull it out with the magnet, which I'll do now. So with my magnet, I'm going to straighten it out to about the length of the that coil tube. Stick it down. Being very gentle, I felt it grab. I'm going to pull out the old plug. With the plug out, you want to visually inspect it, make sure that there's no carbon buildup or excessive wear on the diode there. And since we're going to be replacing this, we can just put this off to the side. And over here, I have our new Volkswagen OEM spark plug. These are direct from factory, so exactly what you take out of the engine is what's going to be going in the engine. So you can see here, side by side. This spark plug actually wasn't too bad, but it was getting time to replace. You can see all of the oil buildup, especially on the top there. So, with our new spark plug, we want to very carefully drop it down into this coil tube until we feel it touch the bottom. With it in the bottom, we want to take that same exact socket and extension. And this is very important. You want to turn it by hand so that way you don't cross thread anything or strip anything out. Alright, so with the spark plug started and just snug, you're going to want to take not your ratchet, but your torque wrench and torque it down to spec. Oftentimes on the box there will be a torque spec. This one does not have it on there, but you can also find it in your repair manual. I believe this one is going to be set to 17 foot-pounds. So let me set it here so you can see. I'm going to the 15 mark right there and going up 2, so that will be 17 foot-pounds. Make sure your ratchet's going in the right direction. Get that on the extension and tighten. Until you feel a click. Right there, you can see the torque wrench gives, and that means it's torqued down to the specification that you have it set at. From there, you want to replace the coil pack. Line it up. You'll see the mount right here. If you need to twist it to get it past that connector, that's fine. Once it's in, you give it a little push. It will line up with the connector as it goes in. And just make sure that seats firmly on top of the coil tube. This bolt will help keep it held down while you're driving to make sure it doesn't vibrate itself out. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and snap in the rest of the coils until you hear a click. And with that, you can go ahead and start replacing everything that you took off. Get my negative ground cable back on there. And the nut that I said I wouldn't lose, I didn't. Can go ahead and replace that. And then with everything back on, grab your 10mm. Tighten it back down. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but you just want to make sure it's snug so that way any of the vibrations from the engine don't affect its contact. From there, you're going to put the engine cover back over on top. Make sure all of the rubber gaskets fit onto these pins here. Reconnect your battery, start the engine up, let it warm up, listen for any abnormal noises or vibrations. If everything seems to be going according to plan, then you're all set and ready to go. Well, that concludes our how-to on how to change your spark plugs in your Volkswagen or Golf. Go to Shop Volkswagen Auto Parts for all your OEM needs.
Coastal Guarantee, better pricing, better service, surprisingly simple.